Hi everyone, the topic of our webinar today is billing plans and how to deal with them. And this is Anna Demina, account manager in North America, and it's my pleasure to tell you a little bit more about how you can use billing plans effectively. I have to mention from the beginning there were some technical issues with recording the webinar that was provided in real time on Wednesday, 29th of August. So this is re-recorded version. Let's look at our agenda. New billing plans creation itself, right? Sales strategy, basic, advanced, premium billing plans. So how exactly you can help your business to use billing plans according to your sales strategy. And being able to use billing plans to upsell such great services as Google or extended unit history. So let's start with new billing plans creation. And before I answer to the question of how exactly to create a billing plan, which is very simple, I need to tell you a little bit more about what the billing plan is, who is creating billing plan, why this person is creating billing plan, and when, in which cases, in which occasions he needs to do that. The first question, what is a billing plan? Simple, template of services. Not more, not less than that. But it's very powerful definition because template gives you a lot of convenience and flexibility. This is where you decide which services your client needs to use, and then later you assign this billing plan to for multiple different accounts. The next question is who can create the billing plans? And here the answer is top user and top user only. So you need to access to CMS manager, and on the left side select billing plans, and then you'll have a button create billing plan. No one else will have it because you are the one who defined your sales strategy. So why will the top user ever need to create a billing plan? First reason is to have a custom and clean interface. And second is to have better sales. And let me explain each of these reasons in more details. So, custom clean interface, does it look like that? No, definitely it's not a clean one, right? Too many tabs, too different icons, too many different ads. Even so, it's all about good features to have. Your client will not appreciate it. He will feel overwhelmed. Even though he has so many candies, so many features, he won't like it at all. He needs something like this. If he is a basic client, then it will be sufficient for him. And if you probably change the icons a little bit, maybe a couple of units more, and show him the beautiful reports and nice notifications, he will be happy with that. He will like it and want it. And having a simple way to make him want it, having an ability to use a template that you apply and you get that clean interface in a very quick way, that's what you need to do to improve the sales process. Now, you have an ability to customize each account separately. You open account properties on the left screen, you see that screenshot. You opened it, you also have a services tab right here. You see the services and you decide, okay, I don't need this, that, and you disable. Many clicks, right? So why you would ever need to use billing plans on the right side? You would need to do the same job, right? Make click, 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 customize the billing plan, and then you see the screenshot changed. We go to account properties and we assign that billing plan to the account. Two-step process. Well, here just one step. But look, you won't have just one account to customize, right? You have many of them, and with many of them, look at the last screenshot, it says account properties basic client 1. But I'm making a click, we need to do the same job for basic client 2 and for client 3 again and again and again. And on the right side, I won't need to customize each account separately. All I need to do is to make 2 clicks for basic client 2, assign him the right plan, basic line 3, assign him the right plan. And I'm also doing it not just for existing, but for any new ones. On the very first step, when you create an account, you have a choice to select the right one. Very simple. Now, better sales means quick sales. Here, imagine if I'm working in that department, how long will it take for me to make a good choice of pastries? The customer would need to have a good choice, to make a good choice, and then I would need to pack it for each customer separately. It's too long, and even so, you have all these tools, you have all these features and wonderful pastries, the sales will go slowly. But look, if you start selling them pre-packed and make sure they look nice, then you'll be able to sell more and quicker. Okay. So when does top user create a billing plan? When does it happen? First, from very first minute of working with us, we can help you to do that, right? And this is when you define your sales strategy according to this list of services you have. You need to learn it, to examine it, and then decide, okay, I have a lot. What do I need to use first? What do I need to use second? And so on. Then we all understand that the time flies and the strategy can be changed. The price policy can be changed. The upselling strategy can be changed. You may do the diversification of your market and target the new niches of the market. That's great. And of course, you'll be creating new billing plans or removing some old ones. And then another scenario, a very good scenario, you are finding a new sales channel, and that will be a dealer account. So he will be reselling your service for you, and he will be himself creating another end customer accounts. So if you have a new dealer account, most likely you will need to create a separate billing plan or billing plans for him. I'll tell you later why. But now the question is how to create a billing plan. And here my answer is it's already answered. That question is already answered. You log into cms.vln.com, you go to the left panel, you click create billing plan. Everything else is so intuitive that it's better one time to show than too many times to talk about. So a little bit of more theory just before we go to the practice section. And here comes the sales strategy. Basic, advanced, and premium billing plans. It's a standard version of this strategy. You see, we just will be creating these three, and we believe that every time you're assigning one of those billing plans, you're either selling the basic service or you're upselling. But then what happens when you change the strategy? The scenario is you have basic plan for basic fleets, advanced plan for more advanced fleets that need more features like all these drivers and driver reports, and maybe some eco driving, but it's still just a fleet, nothing special about it, just vehicles. But here's their target. You're targeting niche market solutions such as cold chain logistics, and you're using probably Sensilator and probably logistics app as well. And on this another one, school buses companies, you're most likely interested to use Nimbus application and passenger module, right? And then you may have a dealer, the one that we talked about, like maybe some cellular channel provider who will be reselling that service for you. And he may ask to have a separate billing plans that will help him with the same process. And one of the reasons he'll do that is because he will be using some emailed notifications, right? And emailed reports. And all of these emails he wants to send from his own support email. So the billing plan also allows you to define that type of email. The last but not the least from the theory is upselling. Why exactly I'm emphasizing these two services when I talk about upselling? Because we're doing the same thing. We also offering these services for extra fee for you. So you need to have an ability to decide yourself who will be using the Google service. Maybe you have thousands of accounts, but only 3 of them indeed need Google service. So you will be enabling this service only for these 3 accounts. In the same way, you are able to store the data almost unlimited, like for 10 years. Okay, but you need to decide for whom. Should it be all of your thousands of accounts? Or only 3 accounts, only 10 accounts who will need, for example, not 10, but maybe 3 years of history. And again, billing plans allow you to do that. So let's switch from theory to practice. Here I am on CMS Manager, and here is my billing plans account. It's a top account and it's a top user billing plans. I called it just for this webinar. So my first step is to open the billing plans tab and show you that we have some different interesting billing plans here. This one I will delete. Okay. Alright, so here I open top account billing plans and top user billing plans, right? So I logged in as top user and I open billing plans on the left panel, right? I have 3 billing plans and then the one that was provided as regional, like the one that was provided by Gurtam that cannot be changed. So these other 3 I created: basic, advanced, premium. What if I want to create a new one? Here is the button, create billing plan. I open it. You give it a name. You give it some email address. That's the email address that is used to send email notifications and to send email reports. So it's not where it will be sent, it's from which email it is sent. Okay, and usually you put some support. Okay, email address. This is where you define the history period. We'll talk about it later. But then, look, first you need to save it. Click OK, save it, click search to refresh, search button on the left side. And then you see you have this new billing plan created. Click on it one time and you see that a new tab appears. It's called Services, and that's where you will play with services. It's all in alphabetical order, listed in alphabetical order, and this is how you enable and disable them. And this is where you usually make a note. No, not like that, units disabled, like that. So what makes this billing plan different from normal? Now let's click OK, let's leave it, and focus on those ones that I already created for you to show you what's the standard practice. It's very hard to make recommendation because it's your sales strategy, it's your policy. And still, to have an idea, basic billing plan may have all apps disabled. No apps at all. Keep it simple. Drivers? No drivers. No passengers, no trailers, no such services as GPS traffic, no messages service because it's mostly used for troubleshooting, no Nimbus module again, and no accesses to the platform from different sites. You only use your site, right? No video module. So that's about it. I'm not making any special notes here because it's basic. It's what I decide to show to the basic client. And then look at this very messy interface. It's the top user interface. And it is a little bit messy, but here you should have absolutely all ultimate goals, or ultimate rights to everything and absolutely all services. But if you log in as this basic client one who is using basic billing plan that I just showed you, you'll see how the interface is changing. Here we go. It's not just a limited amount of tabs on the top panel, it's also a limited amount of tabs right here. These other services, they just don't exist for this client. He'll never know about them. And it's not only about this top panel. Sometimes it's also about unit properties. It looks a little bit cleaner because the profile tab is not here because profile service is disabled. So on the general tab, there also used to be a GPS traffic counter. He doesn't need it, he's basic. He doesn't need to know how much data he spends per SIM card via VLAN. So let's get back to the top user. Let's get back to the CMS manager and let's look at advanced billing plan. So you see here I made a note what I decided to add. Locate a module, shareable link to the map with units, right? So that's what locate a module is. Profile tab, just to show you that unit properties are changing too. Drivers, video, eco driving, dashboard, and track player. So in the services, you see that, okay, these apps are enabled, right? Dashboard and eco driving, and then, for example, video module is enabled. So of course, all of these changes I applied in the services tab. Now, for advanced tab, I need to log in as advanced client, right? So let's look at this one. And why I know that I need to log in as advanced client, look, I'm opening another tab, going to accounts, and here I'm showing to you who is using basic plan. Let's make a filtration. So filtration by billing plans basic. Here we go. Those are the ones who are using basic. Okay, notice a mistake. Premium client one is using basic billing plan. Remember that mistake, we'll fix it later. So who is using advanced billing plan, the one that we are testing right now? These three clients are using it. So that's why I logged in as advanced client 1, and I see that drivers tab is here. Then there is an apps tab with these three applications, dashboard, eco driving, and track player. Then in the properties there is another tab that is called profile, VIN number, identifier, and so on. So this is how we're adding their services. And getting back to the top one again, looking at the ones who are using their premium billing plans. So remember with these ones, we had a premium client one who accidentally is using basic billing plan. So if I log in as him, I'm logging in as him, I'll see that he does have a basic services, right? But even so I called him premium, it doesn't change anything. Now, what should I do to fix that mistake? I go into his account properties, or every time I just click once on its name. And then I'm looking at the billing plans and I'm changing it to premium. Now, of course, I need to refresh. So I'm refreshing the screen here, and I'm refreshing the screen, waiting for this one to refresh, right? And then I'm refreshing the screen right there. So the main change is that we're supposed to see the apps, right? So right here, I'm enabling the apps, and I do have the apps. Okay, so many more apps. Which exact apps I have in the premium one? I can remind myself just by opening it, because I made a note in the description which services I enabled. And it's logistics module. It's also access to VLAN Lite, a special app with a very basic interface. It's also HUS application, or for Eastern Europe it would be a tachograph module. So this app is just the one that helps you to keep track on how long the driver had a rest, how long it was driving, and how well it meets the government regulations. Okay, so all of this is right here. Okay, so you see that the billing plans actually helps you with sales process, right? What else I want to show you is how do we create a billing plan in a special occasion. And that special occasion is getting a new dealer partner. Here I call him Aloha dealer. He's currently using a premium billing plan, which is not bad. He is having a lot of services, He doesn't complain too much, but one of his complaints is that with this billing plan, premium billing plan, he is getting the emails from support@billingplan.com. This is not great because his company is called Aloha, and he wants to get all these emails from support@aloha.com. So you should create a new billing plan for him, but do not use this button. It's worth creating a copy. And to create a copy, here's the hint. You hold the Control key and you click on the name of the billing plan that you want to copy. So that's what I did, and then I call it Aloha Billing Plan. And here I'm putting support@aloha. And by the way, I also want to upsell him to services, which are Google, okay, which are 1 year, 1 year of history. Okay, so what I should do to upsell them these two services, first I need to deal with history period on the general tab. Here I'd like to play a trick because I did not extend the unit history myself for that account. And if you want to extend the history of storage of data for your account, you need to contact your personal manager, and then he will send the request to support team, so they will be able to extend it for you. Only once they do it, then instead of using 90 days, you can use 91 or 91 months, up to 10 years. It's a lot. And here I just like to play a trick and ask you to imagine that it's not 90 days, but 90 months. Okay, and in this case, I would just assign 12, right? So that's how I would change it. And then I go to services, and I do have Google here. However, again, because it's just a trial account with Google, Google, I do have just custom. But besides Google, in Eastern Europe, there are wonderful maps called Yandex. They are really good, very accurate in this region, and we treat them the same way as Google because we're offering usually two services, custom and standard. So let's say Google custom and Google standard, and it's very important to know what's the difference. So with Yandex or Google standard, that service means that you are getting the Google key from us, from Gurtem. With Yandex or Google custom, custom means that you are getting the Google key directly from the map provider. It doesn't matter if it's Yandex or Google, but it's a map provider. And depends on what way you are dealing with this service, you decide which exact accounts should have it. And let's look at our Google service is already enabled. I know it for sure, so it's already enabled. That means, this client can use it. Of course, you need again to contact your personal manager, and your personal manager will request to activate that service for your top account, and then later you distribute it for the lower level accounts. So this is about upselling, and this is about changing the email address for sending email notifications and reports. The last but not the least about this one, is very important to remember that it should be a real email address. In each billing plan, you should have a real email address in this field. If you don't, you will never get email notifications or reports. The same is related for those ones who have it blank. Those ones who forgot to define it in the billing plan. So please check your billing plans. Well, we have this billing plan created. I click search button, I see it, Aloha billing plan. I now can assign it to Aloha Dina. In fact, I can't. Because I created that billing plan as the billing plan's user, as a top user. while all of my partners are created not by the top user, but as recommended by Gurtam, they are created by some admin manager account that is called Billing Plans Manager. It's right here, number 11, Billing Plans Manager, and of course this manager has a dealer rights. He has ability to create a lower level accounts, right? And you see parent account, all of other accounts are created by him, by Billing Plans Manager. So in order to assign this Aloha billing plan to Aloha dealer, I need to go to restrictions tab of Billing Plans Manager and assign him the right to distribute this billing plan, or even this XXX test billing plan. So this is the list of the billing plans that this manager can distribute. I did that. Now I can go to Aloha dealer and I have a good choice of the billing plan, so I can switch to Aloha. By the way, if Aloha dealer should be able to distribute this Aloha billing plan further to his own accounts, then we should also go to restrictions tab and give him that right. Distribute this one. Oh, well, maybe this one too. Or maybe that one too. So you are the one who decide which billing plans he can use. This is about all. I'd like to thank you for your attention, and I'd also like to ask if you have any questions. And again, since it's a pre-recorded webinar, we'd like to make sure that you know all those questions that were asked on Wednesday. So the question one that was asked by Soren, if you change an account's billing plan, will the billing plan services override the account's current services? Yes, Soren, absolutely, they will. So make a change in the billing plan. For example, in basic billing plan, you change their price policy, sales policy, doesn't matter. You decide to add drivers module to basic billing plan. Now all of your hundreds of accounts who are using that basic plan will immediately see the drivers tab. Hope that answers the question. And now question number 2, can you use a billing plan to limit the number of SMS messages an account or user can use? Look, it is a great question, and I didn't talk too much about that service, even so it does require attention, and you can limit the number of SMS messages for an account. For an account, not for a user, but for an account, because there is an SMS service in the services tab of the billing plan. That's where you can say not just how many, but how many per month, or maybe how many per week, or maybe how many per year. And for example, you put the limit 300 SMS per month for the basic billing plan. That means that absolutely all accounts who are using basic billing plan will not be able to spend more than 300 SMS per month, and that means each, right? So if you have 10 basic accounts, that means that each of them can spend 300 per month. Hope that answers your question. Question number 3, how many sub-dealers you can have using API or billing plan to change automatically? Danila, I think it's a good question. At the same time, the development based on API SDK is not my field of expertise, and I will need to readdress it to our developers, and we'll reach you via email and answer that question personally. Let's move on. Question number 4. What about billing plans for the partners to enable basic service to customers with lower cost for the partner? And then there is some clarification, I believe. So today the billing plan for the partners is 1. Will it be changed? Colby, thank you so much for your question. As far as I understand, these questions are related to their price policy and sales policy that is used by Gurtam to sell the service to Gurtam partners. and this is the topic, the question that is not related to today's webinar. So I think this is the question that you can discuss with your personal manager, and maybe there will be some interesting information for you that will be related to their certain type of discounts, but not for their billing plans. So it has not too much to do with the billing plans. Thanks for understanding. And let's move on to question number 5. It says, I don't know many companies that charge the same costs for units on the same account. Okay, and then there's example. Company A, it has 4 cars, and 20 each car, I believe, costs $20 each. Then 10 EOD trucks, and they cost $60 each. And then 25 trailers, and for trailers you charge $50 each. $15 each, okay. And will the billing plan be able to handle the different costs? Soren, thanks for this question. In fact, that webinar did emphasize that the billing plan helps you with 2 things. Keep the interface clean, right? And help you with the sales process to make it quicker, right? To sell those templates, to sell these predefined interfaces. So we didn't cover anything about calculation of the cost of the service. And so there are certain functionality in the billing plans that allows you to do it. This functionality is mostly for those customers who are using API SDK. So to answer your question, yes, billing plans can handle the different costs, but only with the help of you using API SDK and defining that cost maybe somewhere in the custom fields of the units. You need to have a little bit more knowledge than I have in order to explain it into details. But yes, if you're interested to use API SDK, please refer to our forum section, API SDK, and ask to share more experience from our developers and other partners who used it. So thank you so much for your questions, and thank you so much for your attention. I look forward to seeing you at other webinars we'll have.